Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Chris with Inside the U. Thanks for stopping by. Here in this video, I will be breaking down the Miami Hurricanes full player ratings, as well as taking a look at the position by position breakdown of their roster for College Football 25. I know a lot of people are excited about this game. I'm excited to play this once again, provide more content for you guys on the channel. So subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet already. Also in the comments, if you guys could drop below, let me know which players you think are a little too underrated. And then also, what game modes are you most excited to play? There's a lot in this game. I think a lot of people will find different modes more appealing than others, but I know everybody wants to get into that dynasty, but certainly being able to play the Hurricanes or your favorite team, I know that a lot of people are excited about that. But let's get right into the rosters here. First, we're going to take a look at the full roster and where the Miami Hurricanes rank. So the top guy on the roster, the top rated guy is Damien Martinez, a 91 overall. Then you got Ruben Bain, a 90, and Xavier Restrepo, a 90. All three players are among the top three players rated in the game. So that's fantastic. I know anytime you want to take your favorite team, you want to have good players to play with. It makes it a little bit easier when you play this game. And then kind of just looking, Cam Ward, an 89. Maybe some people think that should be a little bit higher. Looking at these others, a lot of 85s, 84s. You always want players in the 80s. And certainly it drops off a little bit here as we go through the entire roster. Before we get into the position by position, I want to look at the fastest guys on the team. That's always an exciting thing to look at. And Chris Johnson, 98. No surprise there. Dylan Day there, 94. But Chris Johnson, I think he could be a fan favorite for people on the game. A 98 acceleration, sorting that. Yeah, those are the two highest ratings. But I think a lot of people are going to have fun with Chris, getting him in there in some capacity. So that's good to see. A lot of speed, a lot of 90s. You always want to see that. So let's look at the quarterback position. Cam Ward, 89. Poffenbarger and Emory Williams are 74. You always like to see the awareness rating. That's always a big stat, a big attribute when it comes to essentially your overall ranking. So you always want the awareness to be high. Let's look at some throw power, some throw accuracy for the quarterbacks. So Judd and Cam at a 94. The way they do it, they got short, medium, and deep on the accuracy. So 87 for Cam Ward. You like that on the deep ball? That'll be fun. It gives your team a chance, What about throwing on the run? A 91, that's good. It all makes a little bit of sense here. Let's look at some other stuff. Play record, that would be for defense. And yeah, so there it is. The other thing I noticed too, I think you guys already see on the screen, but when you look at a player card, it's certainly a little detailed there, but you can see the class, the hometown. I think that looks great, but also the physical and mental traits here, which is it varies for player to player. So I think that's really a neat thing as well with this game. Really cool features, and I'm curious to see how that kind of plays in. Seeing fan favorite for Cam Ward, no doubt about it. A lot of fans are excited about Cam, what he brings to the table. So we got Damien Martinez, Fletcher in 84, AJ in 80, 76 overall for Chris. But again, that speed acceleration combo. Wheatley Humphrey, the freshman there as well. Two power backs in Martinez and Fletcher. Good trucking with a 92. So you can have this power run game that you've been wanting. And then I think people are going to mix in Chris Johnson, whatever they can, just for that speed factor. Some spin move, juke move, those are always good for a running back, obviously. Carrying, you certainly don't want guys fumbling the ball. And catch, Chris Johnson again, 76, leads the running back. So I think he's going to be a factor for a lot of people. Kind of an underrated guy with a 76 overall. But I think he's going to figure in to a lot of people as either dynasty or when they play with him from a game-to-game perspective. No fullbacks. And the wide receivers kind of just jumping out. The 90's good. But yeah, no Sam Brown on the roster right now. Maybe when they do a roster update, he will get in there. Certainly he figures in to be a top 3 rated wide receiver with what he's done already. But yeah, Isaiah Horton, looking at him, 76. Trader and Ray. I know many people are excited about JoJo there. 76 for a freshman's pretty good. Again, acceleration, the speed, you're seeing it all. And you see, you know, maybe if you're not familiar, the names, those are some creative players at the bottom. Look at some deep route running ability. Again, Xavier just good in all three categories. No surprise there. Catching traffic, that's always a fun one. Spectacular catch. So it looks like Isaiah Horton's got some good ratings. I thought his jump ability would be a little bit higher. You'd like for a 6'4" guy, deep threat, kind of a jump ball guy. Let's move along to tight end. Elijah Arroyo, an 80 overall. Against a 95 awareness for Cam McCormick. Elijah Lofton, a freshman that we saw in the spring, get out there. They moved him around a lot. Maybe you guys will do that on the game. You know, whether he takes carries like he did in the spring, you know, playing that H-back role, sometimes line up like a typical tight end alongside the offensive line, or just kind of splitting them out a little bit. But I think Elijah Lofton could be another one of those guys that people could have fun with. 86 catching, that's good. I could see people put a Arroyo in there and there's kind of maybe move Lofton up because of his kind of skill set in this game so far with what I've seen. All right, let's look a little bit offensive line. Kind of move this down a little bit, back to 88 overall for Rivers. You like that as a left tackle. Again, looking at his physical, mental traits, strong grip, ground and pound. A lot of really interesting things for different positions, different players. Sampson, an 80 overall. He could obviously play a left guard, call him an agile tackle, a power tackle. So you get different kinds of tackles. Anytime you want to switch positions, you obviously want to make sure you pay attention to the ratings, because just because he's an 80 overall as a tackle, if you move him to guard, that could change, and it could affect whether or not you actually want to move him. So just be aware of that. At left guard, you got Tommy Kinsler, only a 70. I know the 95 strength is good. You know, I know the staff is really excited about Kinsler and his development, you know, just as a young player on the roster with what he could possibly become. Looking at center, so Ryan Rodriguez is in. No Zach Carpenter in the game. So sometimes players, for whatever reason, it could just be late additions to the roster, or maybe players didn't opt in like they needed to. But I wonder, you know, again, with roster updates, if that's going to change, or if players just choose not to be in the game. So you see Rodriguez there. Inez Cooper, an 85, strength 93. I'm curious about Cooper's abilities, pass blocking, run blocking. I'm curious what that's at. So we got overall 88 on pass block, 82 run block, and then they break it down into power, finesse, 85, 82, or 91, 85, and then they got 85, 81. So yeah, some good overall ratings for Cooper. Again, one of those guys that has had experience at Miami and just looking to take that jump into his third season there. And since we're over here, let's just look at Maui Noah's. So we got 85. These are all good. These are all really high numbers. Lead block 82. McCoy at 91. He's another guy that maybe you might want to look at it as a guard potential if it works out with his ratings. Now we know an 87 overall. That's really high for a second-year player. That's exciting to see, because you think maybe by year three, he's going to be in the 90s, kind of low 92, maybe a 95. Just a really impactful player if he has a good season, a good offense. Again, plenty of physical traits there. Let's flip it to defense. You know, Ruben Bain, things standing out to me: the acceleration, the awareness, the speed at that position. Mesidor only a 79. That surprises me. That's probably the lowest. That's probably to me, that's the lowest rated guy. I think should be a little bit higher, but he didn't play much last year, so he has a lot to prove. But I think just what he's done over his career, I would have thought that would have been a little bit higher. Getting some tackle numbers are always good for defensive players, obviously. Hit power. Play pursuit, play recognition, that's more for your back seven guys, but that's still good, you know, in terms of defending the run and the pass up along the line of scrimmage. Yeah, so only a 79 for Mesidor. Armando Blunt, a 78. That's a huge, that's a big surprise if he's a 79 and he's a 78. But yeah, it's fun. You know, where guys are rated. Alston an 85, so you're feeling good on the edges there with Bain and Alston. Marquise Lightfoot, another good freshman, 77 rating. Kind of showed flashes at spring ball. Defensive tackles are solid. Simeon Barrow looking to kind of maybe be that best defensive tackle on the team. CJ Clark, I would have probably had him above Marley Cook, 82-78. I think Clark's a better player. Anthony Campbell, developmental year last year after transferring. See what he can kind of become. Josh Horton, a young guy, kind of looking to crack that 2 deep, kind of be in the rotation there, defensive tackle. It's not Dan Morgan there. They have creative players kind of mixed in, so you just kind of have to pay attention to the roster. Now I know only an 84, 90 awareness, 78 speed there. Malik Bryant, 80 speed. You can move him down to defensive end if you want. You can move there in the spring. Cameron Pruitt, another freshman the staff has been high on since his arrival. Look at Maui Noah's. Look at his other defensive stats here. 88, 85. So they got Bryant with a higher tackle rating than Maui Noah. That's interesting. Here's what, yeah, there we go. Okay, let's keep it moving. Wesley Basaint. He's probably gonna, 86. He's gonna, have some good ratings. He's a good athletic player. Popo's a guy, Raul here, Popo. I think he's has a bright future ahead of him. I'm curious to see how he kind of fits into year 2 for him. So cornerbacks, a lot of creative players. You see Hill though. With Stafford, no Jadis Richard, another guy not in the game. Since he's a corner and he would be in here. Maybe he wouldn't be a safety. He's listed. Let's look at some coverage skills, since we haven't really looked at that too much with the defensive guys, but with Hill and Stafford in here. Did I pass it? No, there we go. Man coverage, zone coverage. Solid, nothing spectacular. I think, cornerback, the secondary in general, probably not going to have highly rated guys. I think if you're doing a dynasty, you want to address that in the secondary. Yeah, again, Taylor there. I think everyone's going to probably put Zaquan Patterson as a starting safety, a freshman guy with highly regarded out of high school. Plus, when you get guys in, you give them some reps, just like in the real season. But your player ratings can go up with experience and if they play well. So that 76 again, year 2, you're hoping to make a big jump if he has a good year. For your season, if you're doing the dynasty move, Michelle Powell, maybe you move him to corner, but again, because he's got that 90 speed, not bad. But you wonder if you move him to corner, how will it kind of line up? And you could put Harrison Williams there at safety. Or if you like Isaiah Thomas as a freshman there. I think it's going to be a developmental year for him. Harrison Williams, I'm curious to see how that kind of battle. It's always been, when they've had a chance to play, they've always had Jaden ahead of Markeith, but maybe Markeith is going to be able to kind of move past him here. So that's kind of it for the roster. We'll look at the kicker and punter situation. But again, drop in the comments below what stands out to you. What did I miss here? What's standing out to you? Who are some underrated guys? I want to do one last look at the overall ratings as you see it kind of compared to the team. So good for, solid kicking, punting. That's what you like. And then let's go to, again, a good roster. There's no doubt about it. A team that you can certainly win with. It should be fun to play with. The quarterback with Ward should be a good season for the Hurricanes. But let me know, how excited are you for this game? Let me know about this as well in terms of your thoughts on what you've seen so far, either with gameplay or the rosters and ratings. But thanks for watching. Hopefully you have a good rest of the day and take care.